Anxiety is really unique because those who have it tend to really suffer in silence. And many of the symptoms are very internal. A lot of the symptoms, only the person who's going through knows that they have anxiety. But for someone who doesn't have anxiety, there are some things that you can really take note of from an outside perspective and be able to tell that someone has anxiety. Here are a few symptoms or things that you may notice about someone who has anxiety. Even though you cannot see that they are suffering in silence, here are some things that may shed light on why they are behaving in a way that they may be. The first one is that they may seem distracted. Someone in your life who has anxiety, anxiety disorder, panic attacks, or depression, they may seem like they are extremely distracted. Distracted at work or at school or with a task. You may ask them to do something and they keep putting it off, or they tend to forget, and you end up getting really, really frustrated. The reason they are distracted is because anxiety seems to really bog down someone in regards to their mental process. It really slows down the way you perceive and take in information because your mind is constantly overthinking. Anxiety has a tendency to make folks overthink, think about the future, think about the past, this impending fear of something bad is about to happen. And all these thoughts keep circulating in someone's mind. They seem to be very distracted. So if someone in your life is distracted all the time and you tend to notice that they may be an anxious person, just again offer your love and support. It is really important that if you know someone who is struggling with anxiety, that you are there for them. Offer some time for you to just listen to what it is they're going through. It may not solve their anxieties, but just opening up to you will give them a sense of moving forward, and they will feel like they are heard, which is really, really important. So if you know someone who's distracted and is constantly distracted, more than likely they are struggling with anxiety. Another thing that is very notable about someone who has anxiety, something that you may not see physically, but something that you may take note of in regards to their personality, is that they seem really frustrated or overwhelmed. If you ask them to do something, they may feel overwhelmed. If you ask them a question, they may get just really frustrated. If you continuously ask them the same thing over and over again, they get extremely frustrated and their mood is all over the place. The reason someone with anxiety shows annoyance or distraction is because they're extremely overwhelmed, again, with their thoughts. And not just even their thoughts, whatever physical sensation they are feeling because of anxiety tends to make them feel overwhelmed by even the smallest decisions. I can personally attest to this. There were days when I was struggling with the toughest days of my personal anxiety disorder journey where I could not get myself to reply to a client with one word responses, just saying yes or no to a question. It took me an entire day. It felt like this mountain was on my shoulders. I felt overwhelmed and constantly frustrated by a simple task. And until I understood the dynamics of anxiety and just the psychology of our brain and how we function and how we behave, the things that I've been sharing on my channel and will continue to share, that is when things really started to make sense for me. So if you know someone who has anxiety, they're probably going to seem overwhelmed, stressed out, frustrated by the simplest of tasks. And again, simply telling them, hey, I know you are struggling right now. You're going through something. I'm here for you if you ever need to talk. And don't force them into a situation where they have to open up to you. Allow them to just slowly open up to you in their own time, in their own way, in their own place. When someone has anxiety, until they realize how to work with anxiety, until they realize that anxiety is their superpower, they are not going to understand why anxiety is making them feel a certain way. So again, give them their time. They will open up to you. And then a final thing you will probably notice about someone who is struggling with anxiety is they may seem distant. If you text someone or call someone and they take days, sometimes weeks to get back to you, it is going to seem annoying. It's going to feel like you're being ghosted or being ignored, or feel like someone is pushing you away. Why are you pushing me away? I just want to love you. I just want to talk to you. I know you want to be there for someone and I know you want to just connect with someone, but if someone is struggling with anxiety, they will be extremely distant in different phases of their journey. There's going to be days where all they want to do is talk to you. They'll text you, they'll call you, they're constantly communicating with you, and then they'll go days or weeks without texting you or responding to your calls or just even meeting up with you in person. Anxiety tends to do that. It tends to overwhelm folks. It tends to make them feel like that their self-worth is really low, especially if they've just recently had a panic attack. There's just so many things happening behind the scenes that we can never understand who someone is going through. Even me, I've had anxiety disorder for most of my life until I was diagnosed with it. But even to this day, others who have anxiety disorder, others who are going through anxiety, their journey is so unique. People have symptoms that I've never had, and I've had symptoms that other people have never had. Your anxiety journey, someone else's anxiety journey is very unique, and you again have to allow them that space. So if someone is distant and they're not getting back to you, but you know that they're going through anxiety, again, give them their space, give them their place. They will come back to you. They will always come back to you because you mean the world to them and they mean the world to you. Remember, at the end of the day, whether it is you or someone else in your life who has anxiety, it is a journey unlike any other. It is a personal development journey unlike any other. And when that person comes out on the other side, they're going to be phenomenal. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes resilience. Show them grace, show them patience, show them your love. And as always, be there for that person. You are the answer to someone's prayer. You are the light to someone's darkness.